Hi, I'm Lori Rising. I would love to welcome you, whether you're here live or in the replay. Okay, so big reason I'm jumping on today is to talk about, first of all, can you change your reality in 7 days? Second of all, the big energies that we are moving through right now that are a massive invitation to step into the identity that you've been waiting on for quite a while. Let me know if that resonates with you. And third, I want to talk about reasons that you may still feel stuck or you feel like things are only inching along in your life or your biggest dreams or desires. So, if you're here, welcome. I'd love to know in the comments. Let me know where you're coming in from. Let me know how you're feeling, what's happening in your world in these energies. Okay, now let's get to the energy blocks where you may feel like you're moving slowly in your life. Things aren't really changing. You might keep getting pulled back into the same patterns or beliefs or blocks and it feels so frustrating, right? You could have had a massive reckoning in September, just last month, with the eclipse gateway that we went through. And I was talking to my client yesterday, and she was saying, well, I have to do this now for when I want to do this in the future. And I want to unpack this a little bit for all of us. So feel into your life if that's kind of a thought that you have about how you prepare for the future, because this has a much bigger energetic signature to it. So if she's doing something now so that she can have something for the change in the future, she's actually applying who she is right now to her future self. And we're missing the whole gap in between there. So we're actually delaying our own change, growth, and evolution by seeing our future as who we are right now. The choices we're making right now, the environments we're in right now, maybe it's the money that you're bringing in right now, maybe it's the looping pattern in your relationship that's happening right now. Tell me if you feel this. Whether you're here live or in the replay, let me know in the comments if this is starting to land and it's making sense. Because we're actually blocking our own future self and becoming the identity that we can see and that we desire, but yet we're embodied in the reality right now and the circumstances that we're seeing all around us. So this is where, especially when we're working on manifestation, but more so how I see it is embodying your own evolution. It's so important that you begin to see your future self as already having that desire or dream, having the things that you came here to live from and you came here to share. Right? That light that is inside of you. So your dreams and desires have to actually become bigger than the observed reality that you have right now. So who was it? Alan Watts that said this quote, that your thoughts and your inner dialogue are what create your observed reality. We all have a different observed reality. And that's why I'm offering my Wake and Activate challenge that begins tomorrow. It's a 7-day experience, 7 transmissions, 7 opportunities with an unbelievably in-tuned and exquisite community to change your reality, to raise your frequency, to get unapologetically activated, and to make the moves that you've been waiting on. So many of us are waiting for our circumstances to change before we feel safe enough to take that risk, to take the leap, to make the move. Now, this can be the difference between reaction consciousness and investment consciousness. We got raised in a culture that reared us in reaction consciousness. So it's like we're always waiting and then catching up. But when we can start to live in the power of investment consciousness with the belief that it up levels us. It creates more growth, more evolution, more change. And no matter what, that is always going to expand us more and more and more, right? So I like to feel into this as if you go all in on yourself, tell me if you go all in on yourself. Because most people do not. We kind of don't even know how to go all in on ourselves because we didn't learn it. It wasn't modeled for us. But when you go all in on yourself, there's no other option. But you have to be the one that shows up. You have to be the one that says yes. Hi, Amber. Thank you for tagging people. Yes, yes, yes. All the yes frequency. And when you finally get to that root and foundation of knowing the power of going in on all in on yourself, and it's a non-negotiable, anything you do is always going to lead to more information, more paths, more possibilities, more connections, and that will change the energy. So the Wake and Activate experience is literally me handing you a platter of energy change. Because when you change the energy in one area, you actually raise the frequency for everything. When you raise the frequency for everything, your little radio dial sends a new signal out, and now suddenly things are opening up in your whole world. Let me tell you a story. If you've listened to the latest podcast, you've heard the story, but maybe you'll hear it in a new way. I went to an event this last weekend in Chicago, and it's a speaking event. And those are the experiences that absolutely light me up. I am here to activate the masses. I'm very clear on that. Every time I get into an in-person experience and I am sharing in that way, the whole room levitates. Like we are walking on air. The joy is palpable. Lives change. Energy opens. So my own energy started to shift. My own energetic blocks that I've had because I haven't been in those spaces for a while. For the reminder and the confirmation that it is my soul's highest frequency of truth. You will know when you come into your soul's highest frequency of truth. Then I met a new friend. That was my intention, is to really open up and connect with more women especially, but more people in general. Last week, I opened up the dating energy, which hasn't been opened in like 6 years. And I didn't have an expectation around it. I just said yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes to more friends. Yes to more connection. Yes to more collaboration. Yes to more possible romance in my life. Yes to more in-person activations. Yes to more activating the masses. So by the end of the weekend, I literally could feel joy just pulsating through my system. And with that, my frequency started to emanate out in a new way. So as I was coming home, pretty haggard because I was driving home, sleeping in my van, the things like that. And I was in the grocery store and I was just feeling joy, no expectation, not worrying about what was happening in my circumstances or what happened in the past or what's to come in the future. Just enjoy and really loving grocery shopping and the abundance of the food all around me. And I looked up and there was a guy walking by and he had this very unique beard. It was like down to here. It was kind of like split. It was really curly. It was beautiful silver. It was wild. And because I was so open, there was so much flow in me, I didn't hold myself back. I didn't stay small. I shared what was coming through, which was like, wow, I love that beard. And he was like, thanks. And he was going by. And immediately I got the hit, like he's going to come back and talk to me. So I was like, oh, here we go. Like, this is so rare in my world for someone to actually come up with interest in that way and talk to me, especially in a grocery store. And I was looking at the Manuka honey and he came in and we ended up having a conversation. And I ended up getting super awkward because I started to get into my head about it because it's been so many years. But at the same time, I could hold that and I could hold the joy of this experience happening as a surprise. It wasn't an experience that I had to go look for. It literally came to me because of my new radio frequency that I was emanating out. It's not because I went and tried to find someone to date. It's not because I was like having the expectation that like I'm only open to like looking for someone with a possible romantic connection. It's because I opened the energy that had been blocked in general in my vessel. So when you realize that one area means all areas, we are not fractured, we are a whole being, you no longer have to work so hard at that one path. Could be your job, it could be your home, it could be your partner, it could be dating, it could be your own self-love, all of these things and more. So let me know if you're here live, how that's landing. Are you feeling it? What can happen when you start to shift the energy instead of staying in the stagnation? If you're in the replay, let me know in the comments, because there's one other pathway that I want to walk us down in this experience. And this happened during my talk this weekend as well. When we start arguing for our limitations. Amber, thank you so much. Amber is like shouting people out. I love it, love it, love it. Abundance. Yes. Okay. So when we start arguing for our limitations, you've got to really pay attention, not to what you think, but to what you say and what you keep defending. Even if your rationalizing mind is like, yeah, I know this isn't right, but I'm going to keep saying it, but I've got to say it. Like we get it inside of our bodies and we're like, oh, but it has to come out. That's the moment. That's the precipice. And you have two ways to jump. It's the practice. It's the invitation to practice the new identity. Most of us go back to the one that we know because that neural pathway has been so strengthened that it's so easy for us. Like it actually feels good for us to keep defending it. Instead of use our somatics, our energetics, our soul to breathe, find the courage and the momentum to do it a different way, to step into the new identity, even if it feels awkward, because the energy will feel awkward. It's much easier to keep playing in the arena that we've been in, even if we don't like it. Our nervous system will orient that way. So we have to gather all of our faculties, all of our strength, all of our energy to do it different. So during my talk, I heard some people saying, I don't dance. You can hear somebody say, I can't sing. I'm shy. I don't do that. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm calling you out. Come on. That will be your reality. Again, let's go back to that quote. Your thoughts and inner dialogue, not just what you say. When you say, you solidify it. Because when you say it out loud, you're literally saying it into your circumstances and your external reality. But when you have the thoughts over and over and your inner dialogue stays there over and over, you will observe it in your reality, because that's the vibration that you're sending out in the energy, especially the dominant one. So I just want to tell a quick story here, because most of my life, I don't remember how old I was. A very, 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 very long time, I believed I wasn't a public speaker. I remember in college, like when I would have to get up in front of the class, I would practically have a panic attack. Like I couldn't breathe. I was like, I was choking, and I was like, I couldn't even get the words out. Most of the time I would just cut it off and I would go sit down again because I couldn't handle it. So then for my own survival and safety, I just made the decision and the declaration that I'm not a public speaker. Until I didn't. Until I got stronger than that belief. Because I got the call. I had the tapping on my soul. Now my job is to be a public speaker. So something that I realized that was actually affecting that experience for me, and this took a while, but it came through, is that when I was trying to public speak on things that I was memorizing, I didn't believe them. They didn't live in my heart. They didn't live in me. So I was trying to talk about somebody else's truth. And that created a somatic reaction in me. That created a no frequency in me. But once I decided to get stronger and braver than that belief and that neural pathway that I had for most of my life, probably until my late 30s at least, I showed up. And it was one of the scariest things I did. But I showed up in something that I believed in, something that had become an innate truth for me. And I shared that. And that was the first time when I did a public speaking event where everybody else had, when they were giving their talks, they had, 10 people in the room, maybe like 12, 15. And I was like, oh, no problem. This is going to be super easy. So I was even maybe a little bit late to preparing, and I walked in and there was probably 60 people in the room, at least, standing room only. The fear started to rise. But at that point, the momentum had gotten strong enough, and it kept me there. And because I stayed, and because I started speaking from the heart, when I got out from the podium and I walked out and I was close to the people and I could feel the energy, I felt them say yes. I felt their enthusiasm. I felt their excitement. And that was the moment that I realized that I had been trying to stop my highest frequency of truth from a belief that I had that I was holding myself in for years and years and years, and it was creating stagnation. So it can be something as seemingly innocent as like, oh, I can't sing or I don't dance. You're actually lying to yourself because you can. The reality is everyone can. It might not look like someone else. It might not sound like someone else. So what you're really saying is, I can't sing like people that I believe are good singers. But you can sing. And you're arguing for an actual lie. And that creates a struggle within. It creates an entanglement in your energy. So I share this story to let you know that it may be the very thing that is your soul's highest frequency of truth that you've been holding yourself back from. And this is the life that you get to realize that when you find your courage and your bravery and you stop arguing for your limitations and you start leading with the energy, trusting the energy, following the energy, believing the energy. The last thing I'll say before I complete this is there was a period of time just last year where I was not having a good time in my business. I was I was not having any pleasure in my business, and I realized that. And the moment I realized that, I realized I wasn't having any pleasure in my life. So if I want to shift the way that pleasure or the way my business feels, and I want it to be more pleasurable, I get to raise the pleasure in my life in any area, and it's actually going to open the rest. And that's what I started to do. Lisa, welcome. Yes, our language to ourselves and others. You know I will catch you on it every single time. It's annoying how much I will catch you on it. I catch myself on it. And that's the most important thing. So if you jump right to judgment, you're creating more But if you allow yourself to be human which means going through the ebbs and the flows, which means getting more information every time something doesn't flow. I'm being very careful here to not use the word that starts with F, AILURE. I'm not saying it out loud because I don't believe in it. I believe it's more information. I believe it's the energy showing you it's time to turn. Get flexible. Surrender sometimes. Shift. Yeah, Lisa, you sure do. Oh, goodness. I love that you say it's amazing to be caught by me. So I'm sharing all of this with you because I'm giving you the easiest route. We take the hardest route, y'all. Come on, tell me in the comments. We take the hardest route because we're trying to force change, or we're waiting for our circumstances to change in order to feel safe. Most of the time, we're doubling down in that challenge or that block. When you realize that you shift the energy and you start to raise your frequency, do you know what happens there? You become present, because when you're in the block, you're in the future tripping of it, or you're in the past pain of it, or past story of it. But when you get present, because you've shifted the energy and you've opened it, all of your innate guidance comes flowing in. This happened with a client last week. She was having resistance to something over and over and over. And we had a talk that was all about the resistance. And I was able to help her break through that to find her way into the flow and the ease and the belief. And in that moment, she had a download. And it actually was something separate about the same situation that gave her more information as to why this was the aligned path for her. All I knew was hard. I was taught hard. Unlearning gets us free. Yes, I'm here to help you unlearn. Yes, unlearn and come back to your soul's highest frequency of truth, because it's so beautiful. It's so needed. We need it. We need yours and nobody else's. No more comparison, no more competition, no more judgment. Let us all be human and desire the growth. But we have to take the inspired action. We have to live it. We have to embody it. You have to practice it. Yes, Lisa. Just had a moment of all of this. So, wake and activate. It's starting tomorrow. If you're not there, why not? Like, if you want to experience this, where you actually change the energy and get out of the loops and the stories, raise your frequency and experience what comes into your life, 7 days with me. That's it. See what happens. Can your reality change in 7 days? Without a doubt, yes, absolutely. It also hinges on this one thing, and I'm going to share this one thing in day 1 tomorrow. If you can master this one thing, which I know you can, I've done it. Believe me, y'all, I was raised in scarcity. I was raised like there was not enough. I was in constriction and stress about holding on to everything. But if you can master this one thing that we're going to talk about in day 1 of Wake and Activate, you'll never hold yourself back again. Your belief will change. You will go all in on yourself. Does that sound good? I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that it's like all like flow and no ebbs. We're here as humans to go through the ebb and flow, to go through the contrast, to actually catapult us into the next ring of our spiral, into the next evolution, into the next iteration, into the next identity. Most of us are holding other people in our lives and ourselves in an old identity and an old memory that has become a story. It has become suffering when it was meant to be felt and moved on from. It was meant to be the catalyst to where you desire to go. It was not meant to be the thing that held you back in the suffering and pain. Unstick. Lisa says, Lori, one day with you is a game changer, let alone 7. Thank you, Lisa. I am here to help you get unstuck. Bottom line. Bottom line. Because believe me, our stickiness, it runs deep. It doesn't run deep just for this body and this experience. It runs deep for generations. And you all know that you're here. This is who I work with. I work with the ones that know that they are here to disrupt generational patterns, old stories, limiting beliefs, self-sacrifice, and the good enough life. I was spinning in the good enough life while my soul was tapping on me over and over and over. And it was like I had a cushion life. It was safe. It was secure. And yet my innate guidance kept telling me there was more. And I went through years of that. Hi, Mama. Mama's in the live. I love you. I'm happy to see you here. She knows. She's been through all of this with me. So, y'all, I don't want to keep you any longer. Tell me if this was helpful. Lisa, I know you're here. Was this helpful? Was this supportive? Should I share it? Should I keep it on the Facebook? Wake and Activate, a 7-day challenge to raise your frequency, get unapologetically activated, and make the moves you've been waiting on. It begins tomorrow, Saturday, October 4th. Don't worry about being live, although if you can get there live, you're the one that's creating the experience for everyone with me. There are replays. You get replays forever. There is a dedicated community channel that I'll be dropping into all week. If you want to know what it's like to experience me as your biggest freaking cheerleader, get in here. Get into Telegram. Get into Wake and Activate. And say yes. Go all in on yourself. Say yes. See what a half hour a day can do when you show up. When you believe in your time, you believe in changing the energy, and you believe in the possibilities that happen when you start embodying the new identity rather than dragging along this past burden. Let it be the catalyst to where you're going. Don't let it be the ball and chain that holds you back, because you are here with your unique codes. No one else will ever be like you. You're not here to do it like anybody else. You're not here to say it like anybody else. You're here to live it, to experience it, and to share it in the way that it aligns for you, in your soul's highest truth. Lisa says, let's effing go. Yes, we are the ones, disruptors, and we need each other to support this shift. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Amber. Amber says, always supportive. Let's take a breath together. Thank you for being here live. Those of you that have been here live, it really helps because I can't see you. I can only see the comments. So that's what gives me more energy in life to know that you're here. Thank you to everyone being in the replay. If you're coming in the replay, let me know in the comments. #replay. If this has felt supportive, please share it with one friend. This is how we change the world, by how we live within, by how we show up and refine our everyday moments. It's not just when we take time out to be in meditation. It's literally becoming the embodied version of who we desire to be, of our highest soul's frequency of truth. And that's what I'm here to help you do. How do you show up in your everyday moments? How do you take the invitations to practice the new iteration of you? Or how do they pull you back, but you have the awareness of it? And then you get to go again, you get to go again, you get to go again. Only you know if you keep staying at the same level, in the same frequency. We're not only here to shift and amplify our frequency, we're here to shift and amplify the collective, the earth, the universe. This consciousness acceleration is because of you and how you show up for yourself. I'm here to walk with you, heart to heart, shoulder to shoulder. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Comment, activate below if you want the link to get in. Replays forever. Reality changed. It's your choice. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.